Welcome to So You've Become an Online or Blended Teacher. Now what? This is episode 12, Online Assessment. When we first went to emergency remote teaching, one of the things I heard from my colleagues was, how do I give my students tests online? They can just look up the answers. Newsflash, they always found ways to cheat before. This is not new. Fortunately, the move in recent years away from end-of-unit multiple choice type tests means most of us had other tools in our toolboxes to assess students. Recent practices to consider assessment of learning, assessment for learning, and assessment as learning, all of which serve different purposes. According to WNCP, assessment for learning happens through the learning process and is designed to make each student's understanding visible so students can decide what they can do to help students progress. Assessment as learning emphasizes assessment as a process of metacognition for students. It emerges from the idea that learning is an active process of cognitive restructuring that occurs when individuals interact with new ideas. An assessment of learning is strategies designed to confirm what students know, demonstrate whether or not they've met curriculum outcomes, or certify proficiency and make decisions about students' future programs or placements. We used to place a lot of emphasis on the of part, and now we're placing a lot more emphasis on the as part. Assessment for learning helps us differentiate instruction and see where each student's at. Assessment as learning helps the students understand where they're at, where to celebrate and where to buckle down. An assessment of learning is that traditional, 37% of the unit material kind of a thing. It's what gets reported to parents. So Teachology, which offers a few methods, which is a place from Western University, it's a blog type thing, I think, suggests using several not-so-new methods. Written assignments like essays or research papers are a lot harder to cheat on, or at least easier to find out when they cheat. Online discussions like a discussion board or wiki with required posts and rules for how they're assessed, including if they cite their sources and so on. Concept maps, which provide visual representations of connections between concepts with labeled links showing the relationships between them. Presentations, which can be done live or recorded, and traditional tests or quizzes, usually lower stakes though, and mostly taken as assessment as learning. Lorna Kearns suggests a few other things. She suggests breaking large projects up into steps and requiring students to get feedback, whether that's from the instructor, peers, or in the form of reflection at certain points is helpful. She also suggests that rubrics are an effective way to highlight the important features of a large assignment, communicate target performance to students, and simplify grading. Self-marking multiple choice tests, like in a Google form, are another tool that instructors and students find useful. If students can see their incorrect answers alongside the correct ones, they could ask for clarification. And in her study, it gave the teachers an opportunity to reach out to small groups to correct misunderstandings. So even if these aren't used toward a final grade, they're not used toward that assessment of learning, they do offer for and as types of feedback. So having clear learning objectives communicated to students for each topic and using ideas borrowed from project-based or inquiry-based learning is often really useful for assessment. Students can present, debate, publish reflections, and discuss what they've learned from each other. There's no one true way with assessment, just like there's no one true way to teach. But if we keep the goals of the different types of assessment in mind and use methods that will further those goals, encourage students to co-construct their learning and develop their metacognitive skills, and then stay in contact with our students, reaching out when they don't, for example, we can have a pretty good idea of what they are and aren't learning. And then we do exactly what all good teachers do and support them when they need it, just like we do in the classroom. Thanks for that. Please email me if you have any questions. And of course, there is a references and attributions page in the comments.